Informal assessment is a way to measure student mastery and progress without a formal assessment such as a unit test or standardized testing. After content is modeled and practiced, teachers assess student understanding through informal assessment. Essentially, students are showing what they know or don't know. Informal assessment can be completed through something simple like a problem on a paper or whiteboard, or through the use of technology with fun tools like Kahoot, quizzes, or Nearpod. Any informal assessment requires certain components to measure student understanding. These things are a clear purpose and goal in the assessment, as well as a standard for student understanding to be measured. The first example of informal assessments is portfolios. In my classroom, I utilize the ePortfolio Seesaw. It makes for easy paperless tracking. Through ePortfolio, students are to upload examples of work, whether that is a video of them demonstrating a skill, a photo of a worksheet, using the drawing tool like a whiteboard, or uploading a sample from their Google Drive. Above is an example of an informal assessment one of my learners completing regarding their knowledge of representing fractions. This allows me to track their understanding on their journey towards mastery. Portfolios also allow for students to be reflective of their understanding and growth as they continue to learn new skills or practice concepts previously taught. Seesaw has great assistive technology features such as audio comments, voice to text on devices, and video recording. The only downside to Seesaw is that if you do not have the paid subscription, work will be lost at the conclusion of the school year. Another type of informal assessment is exit tickets. Exit tickets are completed immediately after a lesson or practice of skills. The teacher poses a question and the students answer to demonstrate their understanding. These questions can be posed prior to the learning so students know what to target during practice, or it can be shared after the lesson. This informal assessment provides teachers with insight into their student understanding and allows for decisions to be made about future lessons. In my classroom, I use the app Padlet. Padlet's a virtual sticky note wall, allowing for paperless tracking. Let's face it, most Post-its or small pieces of paper end up in the trash can or lost. This allows for teachers to track data without the fear of losing it. Padlets are always stored on the teacher's account for the teacher to review as much as needed. Assistive features with Tablet are the insertion of pictures or video as a response, or the voice to text with your device. Students can also edit responses after they post. The downside is that students can see other classmates' postings before they answer the question. The next example of informal assessments is Nearpod. Nearpod allows for teachers to create a lesson with informal assessments built in. After introducing or reviewing a concept, teachers can use many of the built-in assessment features of the Nearpod to check for understanding. Teachers can choose from open-ended questions, polls, quizzes, drawlets, collaborate, like Padlet, fill in the blank, or memory tests. Nearpod recently added a feature that if during the lesson the teacher feels that students need another form of assessment, teachers can now quickly add it in at any point. Nearpod has assistive features like drawing or voice to text on your device. It also allows for teachers to record content audibly for learners to listen to. The only downside to Nearpod is some features aren't available unless you have a paid subscription. The last informal assessment we will examine is digital quizzes. Teachers can make assessments engaging and exciting through the use of websites or programs. Kahoot and quizzes are very similar in their testing formats. Teachers enter questions ahead of time with multiple choice answers. SmartLab has a variety of assessment options from game show or to multiple choice formats like Kahoot and quizzes. There's also matching and sorting games. An example of use in my classroom is to assess vocabulary understanding through one of these tech quizzes. It makes the task engaging for my learners, and the quizzes are graded for me. An assistive feature with all of these quizzes is the ability to incorporate pictures to assist non-readers. Unfortunately, none of these assessments allow for a read to me feature. Also, SmartLab results are not saved if you exit the quiz. A teacher would have to screenshot the data to save it, versus Kahoot and quizzes store the information on a teacher dashboard. Informal assessments are a necessary part of lessons as it helps teachers guide future instruction. While teachers may think students are readily grasping a concept, an exit ticket, quiz, or work sampling in their ePortfolio may show otherwise. Informal assessments can give teachers a baseline for student understanding. Over time, it can show student growth towards the mastery of skills. Work placed in an ePortfolio is equally as important and valuable as a formal unit assessment when determining mastery or competency of standards. Integrating technology can allow for assistive tools to be used for students who benefit from these forms of technology. While there are pros and cons to each tech tool, teachers must choose what works best for their students.